What? Oh man, it's been a while since I touched these buttons. Oh, well, I guess I've got to push it over here, right?
Yeah.
There it is.
Well, looky there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sober Swole podcast. My name is Jake Howard.
There it is. I go by DJ Swirl.
Chocolate and vanilla swirl.
Oh boy.
Time to shake the rust off. All right, so let's get into it. Royalty Nutrition, that's royaltynutrition.com, veteran-owned and operated supplements. Veteran-owned and operated supplement company that doesn't automatically use the cheapest ingredients possible while making their supplements for you. Use the discount code 37HAKE to save you 15% on your entire order. My next shout out of the evening will be to Gorilla Gains. That's gorilla-gains with a Z.com. They are a fitness apparel company that you can wear comfortably in and out of the gym. They also make great equipment that helps keep you safe while you train. Check them out. Use the discount code JAKE15 to save you 15% on your order there as well. Patreon.com/Hake Joward. That is where I have I've been using it more as a true life update that you're going to have to pay to read about or hear about with what's going on with our family court situation. But I also have great information there on training and lifting and all that fun stuff, and the solo show Hake Rants. GoFundMe for our court fees will be in the description. Anything you could give would be greatly helpful because holy crap, is this kicking us in the pants. DJ Swirl, tell them about that buy-to-buy empire.
Oh man. I'm just gonna play a commercial. I don't got it today. Here we go.
They say teamwork makes the dream work, but what about the nightmare? From your landlord to your dashboard, sometimes life don't play fair. If you lack time, got a bad spine, we're here to support you, giving peace of mind from the time you buy until we say goodbye. 602-345-0472 buy. 602-345-0472 buy.
That's right, by the by, your source for fast, friendly, on-demand moving, delivery, staging, TV mounting, and assembly. Monday night, I had a 20-hour day that went through 3 different phases of my business, and it shows. Jake, what are we talking about tonight, pimp?
Man, so we need to get involved with the titty coffee suicide. So for people who haven't taken the deep dive into our show before, Buy to Buy Studios used to be in the Buy to Buy warehouse office.
Yeah.
And right down the road was a Bikini Beans coffee stand where occasionally we'd stop by and pick up a little bit of go-go juice.
A little sustenance.
Yeah, and, come do the show. I mean, it was just, girls in bikinis serving coffee. What a gimmick.
Titty coffee.
Titty coffee, baby. But, it came across my timeline, and the reason why it struck is because of our history with Bikini Beans. And I covered the man's face in my initial post, but it hit worldwide news.
Sure.
Nautica Malone died by suicide a day after he was filmed half naked in his car at Bikini Beans Coffee in Tempe, Arizona. What this gentleman did was a sex crime. So when you pull up, there's a lady out that's taking orders, and he had his pants around his ankles and was jimmying the sausage there in the front seat. And then, of course, this lady taking the order called her manager and was like, "Hey, this dude's pulling up."
Pulling out.
And, yep. And she walked out with her video and recorded him doing it. And And then I watched the Arizona, it was like the Fox 10 people, and apparently this dude's family, the day he committed suicide, went up to the shop and was harassing the staff. So I get in a fit of emotional trauma or whatever, but oh man, that ain't cool.
Well, I remember when we talked about it initially that I said something to the effect of it's the same correlation of or as nothing good happens after midnight. It's like I didn't frequent it because it felt like a trap.
Yep. Mm.
It felt like me pulling up as a middle-aged guy with wife and kids in a creeper van only had Lifetime movie written across it. And
Yeah.
so, like you said, when were at the other location, I would every now and then grab something that had caffeine in it
Yep.
and
Just right
calories
down the road.
right down the road. And it made sense. But every time I went, I felt awkward. I felt like I had to play into the Bikini Beans aspect of it. And I get it if that's your thing. It's not my thing. So again, don't frequent it. And saw this coming from a mile away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, with the influx of free entertainment online, it feels like someone in his circumstance should have been able to find a release in a private fashion. Um, and the fact that he didn't with repetition, and then his family came out in defense of him, like for it to end tragically, the math makes sense because the level of embarrassment to not even be able to find someone to be pleased by, and then having the feeling the need to go and take advantage of someone whose uniform, whose outfit is something that he can use um, for that act. Being as old as I am, it makes me think of Pee Wee Herman
Yep.
and him getting caught in the theater.
Yep.
Um, so it's not anything new, but in the climate we live in with the hypertension that mental health gets, again, the math makes sense. So,
Yeah. I mean, it'd be like going to a Hooters in the 90s and just jacking off under the table, you know? Like,
or yeah, 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 yeah. And without having any evidence, it doesn't feel like a far cry that there were
yeah.
guys for sure out in the parking lot taking care of business in the similar fashion, waiting for them to get off work, talking to again, it's a Lifetime movie.
Hey, Stephanie.
Yeah, it's all gross. So,
Yep.
to see I don't know. It seems like a teed up situation for something really bad to happen. And here we
Mm-hmm.
are. So,
Yeah. And I think, now this is not me attacking sex workers. Let me put this out there. Okay. But with the ability to and availability of instant satisfaction along the way, we're going to have to ask a woman this question. But do you think that maybe that much instant gratification and instant satisfaction has now become more demeaning to women than freeing to women, or has the potential to be?
well, let's start and let's guess. I don't know, but I'm guessing that the owner of Bikini Beans is not a woman. One, two.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the person who created the logo and made the uniform or the work outfit what it is was not a woman. So I think it's hypocritical to use the uniform as a to attack women or to frame it in a position to where they are at fault when they are simply abiding by a guideline that was set up by a man.
Well, I was not trying to put a woman at fault at all.
Again, that's why you
That's,
prefaced it. That's why you said what you said. However, we are framing it around their bodies and their outfit. And that's not the responsibility of them because they are not the ones who are responsible for putting themselves in that position. It's a job.
yep.
And so if we want to talk about the inappropriateness of instant gratification, it's caffeine. Their business model is instant gratification. So,
Yeah.
and then to use it and then to see the clientele who, um, one, do not share the same body types, let's just say BMI percentage, as the people who service them. And so there's no balance anywhere in this entire thing. So, no, I would say very, I would disagree in terms of just the framing that the women or that it's too much because my timeline is wild without it trying to be.
Right.
The search on my in my on any social media is wild without trying to be, without having the intent um of the person who lost their life in this case, without the
Yep.
intent of some women who get online and use sites in order to, you can make plenty of money to the right audience selling pictures of your feet, video of your feet. You know what I mean? Like in terms of the instant gratification nature of it, and because we have supercomputers in our pockets, we can get access to it at any time. So I don't think pulling up to a coffee spot framed around the female form um, is too much because you pass by it all the time. And if you put a camera up and watch the men, let's just single out the men who turn their heads in excess to look in that direction as they make that turn. The percentage is pretty high. Then you want to toss women in there, and it gets even higher, right? And maybe for
Mhm.
the wrong reasons, not in a supportive fashion.
Right.
So, but yeah, there it's a red flag all over the place. But that's the climate that we're in, and for it to be in Tempe right off of the ASU, it's like it is a beacon of attention.
Hmm.
So, um, and it's like what is it? Any attention is good attention. Is it?
No, that's the any publicity is good publicity, but there's definitely forms of bad attention.
And you would throw this in the realm of sex work?
No, no, no. I was prefacing the availability of,
But again,
not,
that was
and
the
then the
framing.
objectification of.
That's the audience. It's not them.
Okay, I mean, I wasn't. I was
No,
throwing a hypothetical out there.
and I'm telling you that I understand. This is not. I'm not assigning any of. There's no judgment toward you. I'm just saying that it's not going to be difficult for people to have the energy that you're talking about without apologies.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
all.
like, 'cause it goes back to what was she wearing? You know what I mean? Those
Yeah,
those
yeah.
and I get it. I was just throwing a thought.
No, I got you, bro. I again, the fact that we haven't recorded in a while is one thing, right? But the second
Yeah,
thing is with AI and with the way that machines are ingesting all of what we provide for them in terms of content, I don't even really want to talk about this. Okay. Like just being able to be opinionated and to put that out there, it's the opportunity cost is getting higher every day.
yeah,
So, um, but yeah, it's tough, man, because um, the men, and specifically as a man, speaking only from the framing that I can from the experience I have, it's not difficult to think in my past or even in my present of guys who would still catcall, guys who would still have the energy that's just toxic and demeaning, and condescending and all of it simply because of what they're wearing. That they feel that they are entitled to be able to talk to them a certain way, which is there's you don't have to look hard to find a hidden camera show online of a woman who walks down the street and just gets it's stupid, dude. So
Mhm.
knowing that dudes go to that place with regularity for the flirtatious nature of it is there is no judgment or accountability on their end, and that's the most gross part of it all. Not the girls that are the women who have less clothes on than normal. It's the guys who are fully clothed. They're gawking and absorbing all of their positivity that they're paid to do. Like
Mhm.
to me, that's like a bot.
Yep.
How's that any different? Because you know that if at some point in the near future, Bikini Beans or a copycat of it is all robots, but just framed bustily or whatever, dudes would go over there for the exact same reason, man, and not feel any shame because they're robots.
Yep.
We're not far away from that. So, so as much as you feel the need to, put up a advisory sign that you're not trying to say a certain way, I'm gonna say what it actually is in terms of our side of it because we both agree that it's gross. Like it's
Yep.
the framing of that is worse than what they're wearing.
Yes.
So, and doing it
It's,
for profit, doing it for profit at their expense.
yep. And then, like I said too on the post I made, it's like we're both fathers of daughters. I can't even comprehend the levels of rage
And it's
that
another
would
reason
come out
why
of.
I feel uncomfortable going through that drive-through line is because I know that they are going to look at me with eyes that have seen guys like that.
Yep.
And so I have to work harder just to be come across as a decent person when they've been talking to pervs all day long.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'd pull up with the original Dadmobile with all the car seats in the back. Like, I'd like,
Yeah.
I would like your monkey business, please.
Oh man.
How are you? I'm good. Thank you.
Yeah, looking down. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How's your day been? Great. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I hope you make all the money today. I'll see you
It's
later.
it's the one place I feel comfortable being rude on my phone. Sorry, ladies, but I'm not gonna get caught up trying to
Yeah.
get caffeine. Like I'm here for my monkey business, and that's it.
Dude, listen, that is a tasty beverage.
No, it's good. That's the one that's like the protein whatever, right?
The peanut butter and
Yeah,
banana.
fire. It's
Heck yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, Bikini Beans. We're not knocking your business model. Not a fan. Not. It's not my demographic. Not made for me. However,
I know a guy that married two tilted kilt girls. There's no shame.
I forgot. Oh, there it is. Yes. Yeah, Tilted Kilt, man. Is that place anymore at all?
I have no clue.
Because every location that I know that I've been to, and I've been to multiple locations,
Yeah.
again, not for the scenery, simply because it was either St. Patrick's Day or Oktoberfest or something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
the same circumstance to where um, they're all closed.
Well, so we had a buddy that was married to a lady who was a bartender at the Tempe location, and that used to be the corporate office.
Got you.
So, of course, all the guys, we all got out of the Marine Corps together. We'd go hang out at the bar. So
Yikes. Yeah,
we
no,
knew all we
teed
knew all the
up.
girls personally. It wasn't,
Yeah, it was teed up for you. Absolutely.
but it was we weren't like professional creeps like a lot of the older guys like we are now that went. So
What's the other place? Is it Ojos Locos?
I have no idea.
Ojo Locos is like is basically like a Tex-Mex Hooters. It's directly across the street from the Hooters near me, and like it's the same concept. Like
Who, who's
let's
got the better wings, man?
I haven't been to Hooters in a while. I can't tell you
Well,
the last.
Hooters.
I could not tell you the year I went to Hooters last. No idea.
Hooters wings have always been trash. All right, let's call it what it is. They got great wings. You're a liar. All right.
Okay, I remember now. The last time I went to Hooters was probably in like probably 10 years ago. And the group of people I went with, there was a guy who you could place a bet that he was going to complain or find a discount somewhere on his ticket, if that makes sense. So he would just kind of like step away, and then you look over and he's over there talking to our waitress, and then all of a sudden his bill is not as much as it was. And I'm just like,
Impressive.
ah, man. And so that's what I remember the most. I don't remember any of the women there. I don't remember what they were wearing or what they looked like. I couldn't tell you what game we were there, or because I know it was for a fight or for there was something going on.
Something like
But
that.
like, yeah, there was a group of us, and I just remember feeling like, and it wasn't even me. I was just in proximity to it, and I was just like, it left me with a bad taste in my mouth. That's the last. So if you want to talk about trash, yeah, I didn't. I probably had wings, but it wasn't the taste from that. It was my company.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, the one thing that we did step over was the women involved in this, like the trauma that they now have, that they have to go back to work knowing that one, not only was there a guy pleasuring himself to them in real time, but then he took his life. Like, uh, that's not a space I feel comfortable walking back into.
No. Was it wasn't even that, but like the video itself went viral, like
Well,
worldwide
yeah,
viral.
it's a car crash, man. Yeah,
Yeah. Like,
I didn't see the
I
video. I
can't even.
didn't. All I saw was the headline, and do you did you send it to me?
Yeah, it was so. It was just what I tagged you in. It was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the.
So I had seen it. I remember seeing it on my timeline. I was like, man, all of the emotions we've just laid out, and then you message it to me. I'm like, that's next episode. And so I think that was my response was next episode.
Yep.
And then not long after you sent that to me, I sent you um, the post about who we're speaking on next.
Yep.
And if you want to go into the details on that, you have that pulled up.
Yeah, I have it pulled up. So this is Creod. I believe that was his handle. But his name was Chris O'Donnell, and he was an influencer, big on TikTok and Instagram, and he was just fitness, outdoors, live, really being present, sober guy that was really focused on helping other people. And he committed suicide. Was 31 years old. Like, so he's someone in the space that we're in, and I want to, because I didn't know the guy. I haven't really watched any of his content, but I do know that a lot of times when you really get stuck in your addiction, it's because you're covering up something, and you have to learn to cope with it when you're sober, and you have to fight with that sucker all the time. Like I honestly have I have depression issues. I got my stuff right. That's something I have to wake up every day and deal with me,
Yeah.
and then so did this man, and so no shade at all, but whatever was going on in his life or whatever happened or whatever, it was too much for him that day, I guess, and that was the choice he made. It's sad. I mean,
Yeah.
because I was reading the E News article actually, and it was just a bunch of people that were commenting on how much he'd helped them change their lives and come back around, and that it's you never really know what you're doing and how it affects other people's lives or how you've changed other people's lives. You just hope it's for the better.
Mm.
Um, at least that's what I hope we're doing here too. I mean, I hope whoever listens to this something positive, they get something positive out of it.
Yeah. No
But
doubt.
it's stories like that that make me really check my humanity and check my humility.
Well said. Yeah, when I saw this, it made me think of you immediately, and I'm a fan of cautionary tales. I've always I've always found, I don't wanna say pleasure, that sounds like the wrong word, but I look forward to getting past the pain to find the principle, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, off the top of my head, the movie Crash, like, came out in the late '90s, early 2000s, maybe. But
Okay.
it's an ensemble cast. It's got a bunch of different. It's very racially charged, all of this stuff, right? And so there's a lot that you have to process in that movie. But when you come out the other side of that thing, and the credits roll, man, it's just like it leaves a lasting impression. Um, Another movie, dating myself again, is Kids. This old throwback movie
Yeah.
that I had no business watching at my age at the time, but it was based around, some young kids being young and getting caught up in the AIDS epidemic. And like, it's a giant cautionary tale. I hope my kids don't see that anytime soon, or come across it, but I would look back to rewatch it just to like just to trigger those emotions that I felt when I saw it when I was that age. Because it's like that Faces of Death movie that we've talked about before. Like
Yeah.
I saw people like getting blown up and committing suicide like at a super young age on a video that was in the 18 and up area that I snuck in to get, right? Like I had no business watching it, and so but it left it, it is a collage of cautionary tales. Like here's what it looks like when things go bad. Oh, and you either lean into that or it builds up a wall. And so um yeah, it's so when it comes to these kind of situations, I thought of you. I thought of myself. It's a gut check for myself because things aren't peachy keen on my end of things either, and I'm dealing with an injury and still working, and the weather. It's cold.
Mm-hmm.
I'm from Indiana. You're from Illinois. Like we know what Midwest cold feels like. This shit's still
Yep.
cold out here, and so I wound up doing a marathon move, and I was up past 11:30 p.m. when it was 34 degrees outside, 20-mile-an-hour wind, felt like 25. And it's just like struggle bus. And so, but get to see these stories and to understand that there are people who are dealing with demons in their own right. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and pressures in their own right. And so I don't have a lot of those pressures. And so it just makes me compartmentalize the pressures that I do feel and put them in the perspective that they deserve, give them the value and the weight that they have earned, and then just try and, like you said, keep pushing forward because so many people would just fold. So many people
Yep.
would fold. So
Well, like with the stuff we have going on involving the family court, man,
yeah, again, another pressure I don't see, but that's a whole. I understand the weight is heavy,
it's been immense. But ugh.
and this is after you thought you had the upper hand. All right.
Well, we should have had the upper hand the first time. There shouldn't even have been a second time.
Yeah.
And then the judge denies the emergency order of custody, like emergency custody order this time. So, all right, I will say this. So,
Be careful. Save it. Save it.
no,
Make them come.
oh
Make
no,
them come watch it somewhere, bro.
well, this is fine. So, all the big kid's dad had to do was stay sober for 3 weeks and pass his test for 3 weeks. Then he could get custody back. You talk to any addict ever, and you give them a time frame. I
Nobody
can do
can.
that. I can
Nobody
do
can.
that because that ties into the show. This is the business of addiction, baby. Like, are you kidding me? When I was drinking, I think it was my buddy Josh said, "I don't think you can go a month without drinking." I said, "I'll do two," and I did. And then
Now
I
you have. Now you have.
proceeded to get back on the
Now.
drink.
Now you have purpose. Yeah.
Yeah, like you just no balls me. Like, okay.
Yeah,
But so I mean, yeah. So I won't get into too many details, but I can leave that one easy because
sure.
that's easy. That's addiction 101. You can stop whatever you're doing for a set time frame easy, especially if you know you're being tested. Come on, you
Well,
can sweat that.
the system is also designed to not to give you an opportunity. It's not supposed to be very difficult right from the beginning, right?
Right, but see, this isn't the beginning.
I
That's the
I,
whole thing.
I understand. I I agree with you. I'm just saying that the powers that be make it an uphill battle. You know, three strikes, whatever that adds up to. But like this motherfucker's on his fourth at bat. Like, yeah.
It's impressive.
But again, the struggles you're dealing with are because the way the system is set up. The system is set up for plea deals. The system is set up for extensions for to keep that revenue stream going.
See, I was in some deep thought the other day,
Oh,
and really,
at the humble
every
gig.
financial every financial struggle we have, every reason why my kids and wife and I can't take a vacation, the whole reason why I had to shut down what I was doing completely and work at the humble gig, it is all tied to another grown man's decisions. And that is the most frustrating thing in the world.
Yes,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah. So I mean, that's where I'm at. I'm getting mentally and financially cucked in my own house.
As gross as that word is, I feel like it's underused.
It's
Like,
applies.
oh man, yeah. I, I don't have any, I don't have any value add for that man because when it comes to the court system, it's the math doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense because it's a matter of control, and people have influence. It's not a fair. It's not evidence A versus evidence B. It is evidence A plus the backing plus reputation, all of this stuff. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's so yeah, you're getting cucked, and it's basically at old boy's dad's house. It's in their dungeon. It's in their dirty dungeon.
But it's okay. It's okay. His mommy's driving him around now.
Oh man,
Can you imagine being 40 years old and having your mom drive you around because you're an idiot?
don't say that, dude. Don't say that because, oh, man, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, the marathon move I had on Monday night, the
Oh.
customer had an adult son living with her,
Mm-hmm.
and my help said something out loud, too loud, and I'm not positive, but without knowing any better, I'm pretty sure her son heard him. And I'm just like hearing him talking, I'm just kind of like in agreement for the sake of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But I am also putting out there like, man, you don't know the situation, da 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 da. Could be this, that, or the other.
Well, I mean, I get where you're coming
Felt
from.
similar. Felt like a similar situation because he
Well,
didn't help at all.
I get where you're coming from, but I know this situation though.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I do believe. So what I've been working with is acknowledging that my anger is okay,
Sure.
but keeping it righteous,
Okay.
as in the sense of I'm doing everything I can not to act on it, take that for what you will.
Yeah,
I mean, I could have been ranting and raving like an angry Central Illinois white
you could
trash
have,
mom all over the
you could
place,
have, you could have put your guys, you could have put the chips in their corner for sure.
but I haven't been.
No, well done. Keep it up.
I know people that have access to Homeland Security computers. I haven't called. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
Did
it's
I,
been a
I?
real
I sent you the picture of the credit card I found, right?
yes. That's
And I
wild.
jokingly sent you a text like, "Hey, bro, speaking of these legal hardships, but no, on the prowl downtown, came across someone's credit card and put it in my pocket in the event that I was in the area to drop it off to whatever. And so, as the day progressed, I had to go to another job, and so I went online and I found the matching name on the card, and the card is looks brand new. It's like I think it's dated. It's good until 2029. I think that's pretty recent. But
That's brand new.
and so, but yeah, I messaged the person on Facebook, on Instagram, on I think LinkedIn maybe. Didn't get a response. So it is now cut up and in a garbage somewhere. So
There
someone
you
else
go.
will. But yeah, it was just like again. It's one of those signs to where I'll take it as I'm on the struggle bus right now, and I got this thing tossed in my lap that I could have probably taken advantage of and had some again instant gratification, long term, or if I was sloppy with it, like it could turn into a big ass legal mess for the sake of oops, I found this thing. Like it's the
Hmm.
pros and cons of it were hilariously offset. So I had that silly thought in my mind, and then I was like, "Yep, reach out to them. They don't respond, then sayonara." So it is no longer that devilish Jiminy Cricket on my shoulder.
Yep. Well, like I said to you today, one day when we're accidentally billionaires and giggling about this,
There's no accidental dog. I don't want to be a billionaire. I do not. That's too much money. That's too much responsibility. Like, no, no.
oh, I wouldn't be a billionaire long.
Well, it's so easy to make money now. Apparently, you can make a couple of bill in a day
On
on
a
some hypothetical made up Alice in Wonderland stuff. So like,
yeah,
it's the right levers, man. You pull the right
I was
levers.
waiting on that train to come in, baby.
Oof. So yeah, someday.
Oh, I wanted to give a before we go, because I know you get here on a time crunch,
Yeah,
but I want to give a shout out to my cabbage.
boy,
See that?
I do.
So this is not tobacco.
Yeah, it's just nicotine.
Yeah, but if you look at it,
Looks as gross as the other stuff does.
but it tastes better,
Yeah,
and it's not. So no, I'm serious. It's like I'll listen. Next time we meet up, I'll bring you the can. I have wintergreen and blood orange. And they're amazing.
I
They're like
believe,
candy.
I believe the words coming out of your mouth, but I'm still not going to agree with you.
Oh no, I'm not telling you to take some. I'm just saying this has been. And then when once I can uh, spend lavishly once again.
Ooh, you're gonna upgrade.
Well, I'm going to the. I'm going
But
to get the nicotine free. We're cruising because I mean this is already less nicotine than what I was taking all day for years, and
yeah,
so we're doing it.
the mechanisms of coping, always fun.
Yep. But yeah, that's it. That's all.
All right,
Thanks
brother
for
man.
listening to this whole podcast. We missed you. We love you.
I used the wrong hand.
Bye.
Damn it. Bye.
They say teamwork makes the dream work, but what about the nightmare? From your landlord to your dashboard, sometimes life don't play fair. If you lack time, got a bad spine, we're here to support you, giving peace of mind from the time you buy until we say goodbye. 602345047 602345047